Good morning. It's September 27th, 2024, and this is the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up with your host, John NEwquist. Not a big earnings week, but boy, there's a lot of news, a lot of interesting news. China is the story of the week. I watched Kramer do his little biography. I thought he went too long. But let's start where I was in the old days with my mother. I was picking stocks. I thought I could pick better than her as a kid. So here you are, 10 years old, you're picking Diamond Shamrock and all these things like Polaroid and Kodak. The Nifty 50 was a big deal, and then it collapsed. And all she bought after the Nifty 50 collapsed was utilities and energy companies, the big dividend companies. Now we go to college. I have a chance to work for Merrill Lynch. Look at this, the President's Club. Merrill Lynch, the bull. Now, Merrill Lynch was a semester. It wasn't an intern, but it was a intern slash pseudo job because I was going to get paid minimum wage doing calls for a bond fund. Hi, this is John NEwquist. I'm at Merrill Lynch, and we have a 7.65% bond fund for the next 6 months, paying what I think is an incredible interest rate, considering the inflation rate is this, and the bond rate by the banks is 5 1/4. Would this be anything that you'd be interested in investing with and putting your cash to make some money to work? You know, you get a script. I went off the script when they weren't watching it, and I did good. So, you know, let's say minimum wage is $3 and we're going to go out there and work. Well, I didn't want to work every day. One of the things I figured out when I did cold calling, I was good for a day a week. So I said, no, I'll come a day a week. Because, you know, it was like I was going to school and I was working at Merrill Lynch, and they gave me my own office. And that's where I saw the President's Club. I didn't get one. I didn't sell that much, you know. But Chuck, my boss, Mr. Scoresby, he goes out there and he's like, you know, you did good. Here's a check for $25. And I'm thinking, okay, that's, you know, 3 times 6 hours. I'm only going to work 6 hours because I can't sell for 8. A little bit more. Then you get $50 one, a $100 one, a $75 one, a $25. And I could tell he had a good week and he was doing good. And they want me to come to work for them. And, you know, if you have to, you want to see the Wolf of Wall Street, where they sit in a room and they do all that stuff, that's what I was. But I was good enough to get my own room. And I didn't have to sit in the bullpen and stuff like this. And because they, you know, they were looking for somebody that actually knew something about stocks. You know, I didn't know anything about bonds, but you're selling. You're just selling. And that was the big deal. All right, let's get into the news. Taiwan Semiconductor, you know, they've been talking about this fab having problems. I think Arizona is way too hot to put a fab plant, but that's just me. Gonna need a lot of energy to cool that thing down, and they're making 4 million nanometer chips. It's gonna come out, and it's gonna be a hot fab. They're gonna spend billions of dollars, and they're getting money, $3 billion from the government to help get this fab online, and they're gonna do it. And there's the demand is there. We know Taiwan cannot keep up in Taiwan, and they're gonna bring it here, and it's gonna be a lot cheaper, and it'll do well. But it's going to have hiccups. I would have put it up in this area up here because we got great grid. But Taiwan Semiconductor has got overshadowed by the news. It dropped a lot today. It's in a flux, but just look at the 200-day trend line. It's good. It's above it. You had a chance to buy it over here when it was low in August, but you didn't buy it. You know, we were holding it. We're not going to be in a bad situation. Meta, I tell you what, the AI is good. I think it's slightly better than ChatGPT for thoroughness. ChatGPT is not bad. I like it a lot. You know, Claude, Perplexity, Google AI. You know, if you go on the threads, you'll see my NEwquist-Hoffman test. I test questions, and you can see I rate them. I score them 1 to 100. And, you know, Meta is always in the top 2. No matter what the question is, or what the task is always in the top 2. And 400 million monthly users. Remember, it's free. It's good. It's good as the paid ChatGPT, and I think that's another one. How much do you value it? Well, we'll talk a little bit later. Again, the NASDAQ, we show the QQQs. It's not at the high, but my God, this was at 11% a few weeks ago. We've gained a year's worth of gain in the last 3 weeks. It's been hot. And, you know, again, the trend line for the Qs is pretty solid. A nice upward slope. I love that slope. S&P over 20%. So, you know, if those were out there talking about everything is dead, hang in your hats in October. It's not going to be a fun October. Usually, typically, September is the worst, but October is not so good usually either. You know, it's right up there. I do remember October crashes. But everything went up, you know. Remember Tom Lee, 50% Russell. I don't think so. Indicators, the two-year. I don't know why I put it in twice because I was, you get tired, you make mistakes. Crude oil cannot get up there. The Saudis are giving up on $90 oil, $100 oil. They're just going to pump it. They're going to take market share back. They're going to make the oil companies here producing $13 billion a day get less profits. They can do it. They can run it. And, you know, I just hope we don't get the negative oil. You know, it's just amazing. If they start kicking out this oil in late October to November, we could be paying $2 gas, $2.50 gas out here. Woo! Woo! Everybody's watching it. If it goes below 3, we can see how the election's going to go. Gold, what can you say? Holy smokes, it went down, but it's still above $2,600. Silver set a record in the last 5 years, $31. And then copper, doing well. Everybody's getting hopes on China. And then Microsoft, Anthropic, $40 billion. Wow! Somebody put a number on it. The information, is it worth it? Well, how much is ChatGPT? It was $10 billion. They want to get another $80 billion. I use it all the time. So, you know, when you use something all the time, that's worth money. And eventually we'll have advertising. Remember, you get the results and then they'll be on the sidebar. There might be advertising. You might have a commercial to read the whole thing, you know. I can see a lot of things, you know, and people know their ad dollars being watched. Equity versus S3 World. This is something like, you know, you always look at numbers, and somebody over here put some numbers up. I can't remember where the chart come from. But, you know, the Nifty 50, you know, that was your can't lose 50 stocks. They're going up, the bubbles, the earnings will catch up with the growth and so on. Just all that crap we saw in the internet bubble too. You know, yeah, it's like Costco's. Wow, 50 PE, 1% growth. Oh, yeah, I want to buy that stock. No, it's going to come down. You can't go up. You know, earning, especially with 1% growth. Here we are. Look at this thing. Holy smoke. It's a ski mountain high. You could ski down that thing. I mean, that's a huge comp. So one of two things is going to happen historically. The world's going to catch up to us, or we're going to drop down to the world, or some combination of both, which is usually, you know, people always say take the middle. So I think we're in a situation you just got to be, you know, away from and well diversified. And I don't think it'll come. Remember, innovation leads to worlds. Revenue growth leads the worlds. And we're picking companies best in the sector that are increasing revenues. Not some old German or French or Swiss company that just flat revenues. That's the difference. That is the real difference of what our portfolio. I'm calling it the innovation fund. We got more innovative companies than ARC does. Forget the ARC companies. Unity Software, come on. There's no innovation there. BIDU. We like BIDU because it is the #1 in the world for automated transportation. When the Chinese said we're cutting the interest rates, we're going to lower capital, we're going to facilitate stocks to go out and spend money, it means they're in serious. Look at this jump. Holy smokes. You know, we were botching BIDU, and I says, well, I'd like to break out of the trend. Well, when it broke this trend right here, we bought it. And, of course, it's gone up since then. Where could this stock go? This thing, you know, could be triple if BIDU gets lower finance and people get money to spend things. I think you got to remember, they are the leader in autonomous vehicles. You go to Wusang, it is perfect. Could you imagine that going to every country in the world? They don't need the driver. It's safer. It's going to be good. You'll like it. The experience is good. I want it in my town. 24/7 you're running the car. Wow. Vertex, again, doing work in the AI data centers. Brand new facility going to open up more. Remember, doing a lot of ventilation for the systems out there at the data centers. It's not quite at the high, but it's come back quite a bit since the November lows. That's why we just put up with these drops and it goes up. This is the choppiness that is in the leadership portfolio. Micron, we don't own Micron. You can't own every tech company, but oh my God, this revenue jump, it wakes you up. What's good? High bandwidth memory sold out for the next year. People want to have this stuff. Artificial intelligence PC. I don't like that term because there's no Grace Hopper chip in these PCs. Not at $80,000 a pop. But it makes it quicker access quickly. But you know, we're in a PC replacement cycle. Everybody's kind of pushing off, and I don't know. I just think, you know, that's a lot of hype, but boy, this thing jumped. Holy smokes. You know, I mean, if you're going to buy Micron, you've had a deal now, because look at it, it's been ugly, ugly, flat, simple as that. But this revenue growth, and it's sold out. If I was going to buy another tech company, because we're way overweight, it'd be Micron. And at 50, 60 bucks up to 107, then maybe go to 200. I call it FLCH. It's the, you know, Chinese fund from Templeton. And, you know, again, look at these gaps up. Oh, my God. You don't think China's going to put $150 billion at the start? They're going to get the economy moving. That's what it takes. It takes money. You're going to give people money to spend money, innovate, do things, increase the product, get the prices lower, everything. You remember, they're going to help all these companies out. So, you know, even though we sold it around here because it was uninvestable and it, you know, it was kind of tough, you know, it's below the 200-day moving average. You got to call it a day someday, and now we're back in. So, welcome back, Filch. Super semiconductor, super micro computer. I call super semiconductor. I don't know why I want to call it SEM, but this thing's been a nonstop down, and it dropped down. I mean, this is an ugly drop. And, you know, remember, $1,200 stock. You've lost 2/3 your value in a tech company that was going to be the next NVIDIA, which I couldn't, you know, I just don't see, you know, Dell's making the same product, supposedly. I just don't see the stuff. You know, I'm out to these centers. I want to see a super micro package in one of these computers. I'm sure they are, but I just don't see it. And again, it's the chip, not the package. Costco, I mean, you know, they love this company. Oh my God, subscription model, but look at it. It's growing like it's a, you know, refrigerator stock, 1% a year. It's got a nice growth. Everybody loves it. It's always been up there. It's been wild. Nothing last year touches this average, but it kind of gapped down. I just think it's kind of slow retail. It's not growing so good. And in the retail side, there's better companies. So let's talk about retail, the XRT. You know, this is a retail index fund, and it's been flat. But look at that slope of that 200-day moving average. I love it. Nice steady slope. It's coming up. 50 days above it, 200 days above it, and it's been in a long sideways channel. And we could be in an area. What do? We have the two best, Amazon and Walmart. ELF growing at 50% revenue. Look at this. Look at it. Average is like under, you know, negative earnings to 3-5%. And Alpha's at 50%. That's why we're keeping it. Yeah, we're down on Alpha. We'll talk about it. Amazon, oh my God, it's just choppy. This is, look at this. Gets up here, drops, gets up here, drops, gets up here, gaps down, comes back up. You can't time Amazon. Just buy it. Hold it. You know, it'll be a $500 stock. Oh, no, I'll go $400. Next year, by now, this time, it'll be $400. Because it's doing everything. A lot of things are clicking on Amazon. That Thursday Night Football, I thought it was well done. Not bad at all. Walmart, look at this. You know, I can talk about it. It's split way over here, and you did well. If you bought it at the split, down 63 bucks, you're already up. Remember, we got 8% on average, and it's got that plus more. It dominates. People are going to Walmart instead of Dollar General. Wow. The growth, the number one king of retail, yeah, it's flat. It's going down. We're down on the stock. We're adding more eventually, but we're adding more to other stuff like China. But Alpha, we got a good position. We're in 50% position, and yeah, we're down on it, but I have faith. You know, Alpha, you just can't get past that earning. The products are great. I use it. It's not going to be a bad stock to own. You want it cheaper than I bought it? Good time to buy it. And we'll look at the week. Oh my God, it's been a flat week. You know, this is really flat. I mean, except for NVIDIA down 2%. You know, really, you know, it's a fairly common week. It wasn't big. We did good. We survived the week. We had 4 out of 5 up days in our stuff. So, you know, like I said, the unemployment numbers coming up is going to be a big one. The Feds will make a cut after the election. That'll be another decision if we know who wins the election, because heaven forbid it'd be like, you know, what was it, 2000 and then 2016 and all this stuff. We may not know who won the election for a week, which if that happens, the market's going to go down. So we want to wait till the winter and then maybe add more. But otherwise, have a good week. It was a good week here, and we should be all right. We got the best stocks. We're fully invested. Nothing else to do. Otherwise, we're going to have to go on margin or sell something. We'll probably sell some of the dogs in late October, you know, just that time period, because I think, you know, everybody's going to start building up before the election, and we'll see. It's going to be close. But as long as the House splits, the Senate splits, it really won't matter. Talk to you next week. Have a good week and stay safe.